Our next snippet we're going to look at is teaser card horizontal or vertical. And this is a purely visual thing, but it adds a lot of visual flair to the page when you use it. And it's specifically to avoid a thing that we jokingly kind of call a link farm. What is a link farm, you might ask? Well, let's say that you have to have a lot of different links on a page. For example, you have to link out to a lot of external pages, you have to link out to a lot of departmental pages, or maybe you have a large number of links to documents or other resources or whatever in the page. And a link farm would be something like if we was doing it here on this landing page. You would have link 1, link 2, link 3, and basically you end up with just a whole bunch of links going down your page. I'm just going to do this as an example. Link 1. Like so, and you click save on this, and what you see is just a bunch of links that run down the page. Sometimes they're bulleted, sometimes like they're rich link text, which looks nice, but when you have like a lot of them, it really bulks up the web page look. You end up with this sort of white thing with a bunch of links on it. We call that a link farm jokingly. And they're not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, and they're not terribly good at presenting the separation between the links. You sort of have to gaze at them a little bit. They don't attract the eye very well. Teaser card horizontal or vertical allows you to set up a series of links that will actually be far more attractive to the user's eye and are just generally nicer looking. So to do that, we're going to go into our snippets guide, and I'm going to find it, teaser card. Horizontal or vertical. One important thing to know about this snippet is this only works on either a landing page or in an additional content section on a standard content page. It will look wrong if you put it on the main content section of a standard content page. So here it is. And to get a perspective on what this looks like, I'm going to go ahead and click save. And we'll publish it up just with the sample like it is. And you'll see here that when I refresh the published page, I have this kind of neat section here. I've got a background wallpaper sort of look, and I've got these different tabs or buttons that are links to a variety of different things. They're automatically set to link there. And that's what we're going to be working with here. We've got 5 of them on the page, and it's set up on a background. So let's look at this snippet real quick. So our first item here is the alignment. And this is the alignment of the buttons in the snippet. You can switch it horizontal to vertical. And I'll show you vertical after a bit here. But first up, we have this first image. Now, this is the wallpaper image that's occurring behind the buttons. And you can, of course, change that. Like, for example, maybe I want to use the keeper of the planes there. It doesn't have a lot of contrast to it, so it may not look great, but I'm just demonstrating changing the image for you. And you know, of course, at this point in the course that alternative description needs to be something else. I'm going to leave it placeholder just because we're just getting through here quick. The first text item here says things to do. That is the headline of the snippet. So that will be our new headline. And as we go down after that, we have our images, and these are the images displayed on the buttons. And we have this hyperlink here. These are the topic headings for each of the buttons, so to speak. They have to be a hyperlink. You have to set them as a link. If you do not set them as a link, the snippet will break. So we're going to come here and I'm going to switch that to my PDF page. And I can change the text that's displayed in text to display. I'll make it a little fancier this time. PDF remediation for accessibility. So that sets that link. You do not have to set the link for the image. It automatically carries it over from here. In fact, I had someone actually trying to manually set the images as links and it broke the snippet. All you have to do is set this as the link as you normally, and then just change your image. And maybe we'll find a new image to put here. And we'll find something that looks kind of similar here. Water tower is a good one. We would, of course, change our alternative description. And we have a number of rows of these like this. Now, this, of course, looks bigger. That's because that's a bigger image resolution-wise. But remember, it's going to try to force it to fit in that space. So even though the first image or any of the images look different, as long as they have the same aspect ratio, they're okay. Again, we recommend going through and setting all these to 800 by 600 to save yourself the grief if they don't match up. But in general, that's how it is. And you would go through and change these. And of course, you can add rows if you want to. If you add a row, insert row after. Note that the row is blank. It's not going to display anything in this row. If you were to save it and publish it as such, it's basically invisible. I'm just going to copy this information here into it. And let's see, how many of these do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we want 8. So I'll copy this row. And I'm going to paste row after. And do it again. And we'll save it. And you can see that we switched up our background. It's set to that keeper the plains image. I would change it because you can't see the keeper. This water tower might have actually been a very good choice there because it has this light sky and the snow and winter that would have put a bit more of a contrast into it. But you get the general idea here. The headline changed out and we've got all these different buttons. If I click on this, it's going to take me to my PDF remediation page. And it'll automatically add or remove rows depending on what you add or remove. If you've got a very large series of links that you're using the snippet with, you can switch the alignment. This is generally the flashier, larger image presentation of it. I use that a lot if I'm linking to other departments, but if I'm linking to a bunch of different places, I could come up here and switch this to vertical. If I switch it to vertical, it changes the presentation like this. Now you might notice, but aren't these horizontal instead of vertical since they're going across? That is true, but what it's referring to when it's referring to vertical and horizontal is the order of the buttons in the columns. So this one is actually, the alignment was changed to go down and then go down here, if that makes sense. On the other setting, it's going in the order across. So this is a great snippet. If you've got a lot of links that you're using, you can't add supporting text, of course, underneath, or a teaser copy of any kind, but you do have these nifty link buttons. And it looks much, much nicer than a link farm sort of presentation.